Under the current Older Americans Act, with our current administration, funding for services for seniors has been shifted from the federal level to the state. How will you help restore balance to help our seniors remain in the community?
Well, I think this is a really important issue. Part of it is, you're right, a cost shift, not just from the federal, not just on this issue, but on a whole bunch of issues. George Bush cuts taxes for the wealthy, cuts programs or flatlines them so that they are reduced because of inflation, and the states have to pick it up. And so state budgets are really being severely burdened. So one of the ways I want to stop that shift is by making sure that the federal government is meeting its obligations, not just around the Older Americans Act, but also around Medicaid reimbursement, also around making sure that No Child Left Behind is adequately funded and special education is adequately funded. It's blasting holes in our state and local government budgets that are very difficult to fill. Now, that in turn means that the federal government has to stop being irresponsible with our budgets. Don't cut taxes during wartime. John McCain had said that it was irresponsible for us to do that. First time in our nation's history that during wartime we decided to cut taxes for the wealthy. Unfortunately, John McCain's Straight Talk Express lost a wheel somewhere because he is now in favor of those same tax cuts. And that's part of what's contributed to this multi-trillion-dollar debt. It's also why the federal government is not meeting its obligations to the states. Let me make a larger point about what's happening with older Americans. My grandmother's 86. She's led a very prudent life. She has been tight with a nickel all her life. And so she actually has a fairly secure retirement. But she's still living alone. Even though she has a very bad back, she has osteoporosis, she's blinding in one eye. She can stay in her home because a home care worker comes in once every couple of days to do some light cleaning, do some shopping, do some cooking. And she is much happier staying in her own apartment, staying in the community. She's much more active as a consequence of it. And that principle we should apply to all issues of long-term care. It makes a lot of sense for us to try to keep our elderly population in their homes, in their communities, with their families as much as possible. But what that means is we've got to pay our home care workers more, give them better training. If we invest in home care, we will save money over the long term, and we will have a better life for our senior citizens. That's going to be a priority when I'm president, to make that shift in how we deal with senior populations.